As I've shared with you, today is Baptist Women's Day, and we've had a treat so far with the ladies' choir, and I'm going to do things just a little out of ordinary. I'm going to ask you two girls to come up here first. I'm not going to steal the thunder of our GAs, but if you didn't notice these two young ladies in the choir today, I told them before church, I said, you've got to carry the choir. I said, you got to do all the heavy lifting. I said, you got to sing bigger and better and prouder than the ladies behind you. But I don't know if you could see them. They were swaying like trees in the breeze up here, which is fine and well, but they sang beautifully when it came their part to sing that chorus. And I wanted us to give them a special round of applause for the great job they did. I just need you to teach me to sing like that, okay? No. Yeah. It probably wouldn't sound that good anyway. But no, today is, y'all stay right there. Today is our Baptist Women's Day, and we have a few different ladies in the church that will be speaking with us and sharing with us today. And so, I don't know, Penny, are you going to come up here with them? Penny is one of our GA leaders, and one of the others is not feeling well and is here, and the other has a sick child at home, so Penny has to rough it by herself today. But I'm going to turn things over to Penny and let her have the pulpit mic so that she can share with you about the GAs, and then we have another speaker after her.
All the girls are not here today, but I'm so proud of them, and they do really good. When you think they're not paying attention, then they surprise me all the time after we ask them questions. And what we've been learning about is we learn about missions. And two of the things that we learn about is
learning about missions, learning about prayer.
We learn about the missionaries and prayer. And I'm telling you, if you tell my girls something to pray for, they'll pray for it. It doesn't matter what it is. If they hear about it, they will pray about it. Doesn't matter if it's somebody losing a job, somebody sick, or even someone's pet. My girls will, if they hear about it, they will pray about it. They're very good about it, and they just surprise me of all the things that they pray for. They're very attentive to me. I mean, we do our little work, and we do little parties. We've started doing, we call them tea party like things. We eat snacks and stuff, and we talk, and we're learning how to get along with each other. But the most important thing that we do is we learn about our missionaries, and April being one of our missionaries and coming to talk to us, that's helped them a lot to understand, and her telling us about like a missionary getting in trouble, and that's what we try to teach them, that these people have given their lives to be missionaries, and God takes care of them, even in bad situations. Even like April's friend who got through a prison, and we've talked about that, and we try to, me and Misty and Natalie helps us too, we just try to teach them that the love of Jesus will take care of them, you know. And we also, in our class, we learn about forgiveness. Sometimes we don't get along, but we learn to love each other, even if somebody makes you mad. We try to teach them, you know, it's not the worst thing, and we learn about forgiving people if they make us mad, or even at school or anything. So, but I'm very proud of the GAs. They're not all here today, but they're just, we have a good time working with them, and they're just extra special to me. They're just like my children. So, again, and thanks to church for providing for us. And if they're going to do this, okay. This right here is a special picture to me. Sometimes my girls come in and they're always looking down. They're sad, they're pouting, they don't had a bad day, and they'll just be looking down. And I always ask them, I said, Chloe's she's the one that started it. And I asked her one day, I said, Chloe, why are you looking down? And she just said, I'm mad and I'm sad. And I told her, I said, Chloe, we can't look down. I said, we always assume the devil's below us. I said, we need to look up to Jesus, and maybe he'll take your sadness away. But that's our motto. If they come in looking down, I'll tell them, I'll say, don't look down, you're looking at the devil. Look up for Jesus. So that's one of our things. All right. And my girls want to do the pledge for you. This is something that we're trying to learn.
As a GA, I will do my best to live a missions lifestyle that honors God by learning about missions, praying for missions, doing missions, and participating in the work of the church.
Thank you.
Back in 1900, no, when I first got involved in missions was when I was a Sunday. That's what we had as our mission. Some of the ladies in church started a Sunbeam band, and we met sometime during the service, after the services, and we learned about missionaries during that time. And so we were in our Sunday band. The boys and the girls were there together. There was no separation at that time. And then when I was graduated into what they call GAs now, was when Forrest and Opha Smith moved here. And she was a member of College Avenue, and they had the what they call YWA GAs and the Sundays, and so I was still at the age to be in the Sunday class, and so and in GAs, and so we had our leaders, and we worked same thing, doing it just like we always done, learning about missions and missionaries. And then when she moved here during the Second World War, just at the start of the war, she wanted to start an ACT, Young Women's Auxiliary, what it was called then. But she had to be a certain age, and she didn't have enough ladies to be in that class, and so she asked the older ones. There were two of us that moved on up into that, and so I was in the Young Women's Auxiliary for a long time. And so Miss Opie was our leader then, and we got to go to different places. I attended the conferences at Ridgecrest. The church and our family sent us up. There was Emma Jean and Sue Barnwell White now, and myself, and Miss Edith Barnwell. The church sent us there. And we, instead of staying with the large group, we got to stay. Reverend Fry was our pastor, and he was friends of the pastor at Drexel First Baptist, and they had their own private cottage. So we got to stay at the private cottage, which wasn't, some of the girls wasn't too happy because we got to stay at a private place, but that's beside the point. And then while we were there, the young boys were in convention across the railroad tracks. If you've ever been up to Ridgecrest, you know there's the railroad tracks that runs by. And the boys' camp was across the road, and one day we got this invitation to come to dinner that evening. Just us girls, just us 3. And we went over and they fed us there. Whole conference room full of young men, boys, too young. But anyway, they did have a good-looking counselor, though, I must say. But he went on to be a missionary. I saw his name in our mission magazine. And then after that, I graduated to the WMU. The mother and I. My mother and her mother were always into missions, as Miss W.O. Johnson and Miss Harold Tilley, Miss Jenny Tilley. Y'all remember them. Miss Jenny Tilley first got our ladies started, and she would, after the service was over with, all the men would get out and gather and talk, gossip, and she called us and the women together, and she says, we need to start a women's mission group. And so she said, all you have to do is, we'll just talk. And Miss Hamlet was a missionary to China from Burke County, and she would write letters to Miss Tilley. So we didn't have a book or anything, but she would read the letters she would get from Miss Hamlet from China. And then she'd ask the ladies to bring their nickels and dimes or some money they had from their selling eggs. And I can see these ladies to this day. They always carried a man's handkerchief. My mama carried them because there'd be some baby that needed his face wiped. That was before he had wipes. But anyway, they would have their little nickel or dime in the corner of that, and they would give it to Miss Tilley, and then she would, what little money she collected, she would send it to the missions. And after that, I started into work, and I was the YWA leader. Then I took, one time back, I took the ladies, drove the church van, and went to Munda Vista, drove them there. First time, we had a very delightful time, took the ladies. And was any ladies in here that's old enough to remember when we went? Well, it was a nice place, and there was boys' conference place there too. And so I went there. We went to conferences, different places in Ridgecrest. But I worked, took the GAs. I got one, the YWA, says, Ethelene, anybody else in here was in my YWA group? You remember when we went to the conference in Charlotte? We went to one in Charlotte, and so I drove to that one too. and so, not the van, I drove my vehicle then. I had a van then. No, I had a car, because there's two car modes. But anyway, I have all my life been in missions. I'm still in missions. I push missions, and that's what we're here for. And I've enjoyed it through the years, being a part of the mission activity here, whether it's within our church or within our association or within our state or with our foreign missions. That's what we're here for, and that's what we're saved to serve, and that's what God wants us to be. Now you follow that.
That's a hard act to follow, Audrey. I'm glad you served all those times to drive that bus and van, and I realize now, I wonder what happened on those trips, why you always say, will you drive us? Will you take us somewhere with the seniors? So we'll talk later. No, as you can tell, we have a very active WMU and women's missions going on here at our church. And so this morning what I want to do is, before we close out the service, I do want to sort of give you some faces to go with the names, so to speak. And the first one that I'm going to ask is I'm going to ask Miss Clara Lell if she'll just stand up where she's at. I know she's going to kill me for this later, but if you'll please stand up so they'll know who our WMU director is for this year. Her and Sue Jessen, who is home recovering from surgery, sort of tag team this, and I think it's a group effort, really. But if you needed to talk to a lady about one of our missions groups, one of our ladies' missions groups, Clara is the one that you could talk to, and her and her team, her entourage, will get right on whatever needs to go on. But be sure that if you're interested, if you're a lady in the church and you're interested in getting involved in missions in some way, Clara would be a good point person for you to touch base with and to talk to, and she'll be able to help point you in the right direction. The other people that I wanted to ask to stand up this morning are some of our ladies' missions groups, the day group leaders. If you'll stand up for us. I'm not exactly sure which ones lead the day groups. All right. Right here we have Sandra and we have Margaret in the back. These ladies lead mission groups on the first Monday at 10 o'clock of each month here in the church. And so if you're interested in participating in one of these missions groups, they would be glad for you to come and meet with them. Sometimes they meet at different times just because of scheduling challenges and things like that. But they do meet at those times primarily. They go through their mission magazines. Is it Mission Mosaic? Is that the one that you use? And so they go through the missions magazine, learn about, it's basically older GAs for the extent of it. I mean, really, that's what it is. They go through a magazine, they learn about the missionaries, and they get involved in missions. And so that's what our mission groups do. And sometimes they do mission projects and mission collections outside of what we do for the church. Yes, we collect the shoe boxes and the backpacks and things like that, the M&Ms and different things, different things like that. But sometimes these missions groups have particular mission projects that have a special place in their heart and in the heart of their group. And so they meet and they, after learning about their missionaries and discussing missions, they get involved in missions. There's been several times where your pastor has said, hey, we need these bags put together. Hey, we need these boxes folded. We've needed these things done. And these ladies have gladly said, oh, it's missions? Sure, we'll do it. Not for you, we're doing it for the Lord, so to speak. But they are always really good to get involved in missions and to help with those things. The other people, I'm not going to have them stand up because Penny's already been up here and she shared with you that her and Natalie and Misty work with our GAs, and they are the ones that help lead these young ladies on Wednesday nights. And they meet at 6:30 on Wednesday nights. If you come in here in the sanctuary and are looking for the GAs, I'll help get you where you need to be. We do need, we do want, obviously, any little girls in the church that are 5th grade to kindergarten. Is that right? 5th grade to kindergarten, 1st grade. If they are interested in being in GAs, bring them on Wednesday nights at 6:30, and you can bring them here in the sanctuary, and we'll help get them to class. But it'll be a great opportunity for them to do just like the ladies in the church do. They go through their missions magazine and learn about missions, and then they get involved in missions. You see that they were the ones that plant the flowers around the church sign at Mother's Day, planting all those beautiful flowers so that they'll bloom for us throughout the spring and summer. And they get involved in a lot of other things. The GAs also have been known to slide off and go get ice cream and do different things from time to time. But they always have a good time, and we're very grateful for the ones that lead the overall organization, the ones that lead the women's groups and also our GA leaders, because without you and your involvement as far as leaders go, our missions organizations wouldn't be what they are. And so thank you very much for what you do to help lead those organizations and to be involved in missions, because that is, as Audrey mentioned, that's what we're to do. We're to be involved in missions so that we can impact the world with the gospel, so that they will see the gospel not only lived out through our actions and not only through what we give, but also through what we share with them about the gospel. And so to the young ladies that took up the offering this morning, thank you for your service this morning. You guys did a great job. And Miss Abby, you did a great job with the prayer. It's not always easy to pray in front of a large group and to be put on the spot, but you did a great job as well. And so, yes, ma'am. Mission Friends. Yes, I did. I forgot Mission Friends as well. I was trying to cover everybody, and I knew if I didn't write it down, I'd forget them.
That's Louise and Dolly.
But yes, Louise and Dolly lead our Mission Friends on Wednesday nights. And they are basically in the nursery area, but they do much the same. They teach them a lesson and keep them on Wednesday nights, and they do a great job. And it's a great transition for these kids to go from Mission Friends to either RAs or GAs, and then grow into adulthood, going into the youth, and then eventually being involved in missions through the WMU. And so thank you to all of those leaders, Dolly and Louise as well, and all those other leaders. Thank you for what you do to help with the missions of the church, because as I said, without you being involved and doing what you do, we wouldn't have the strength of missions that we have here at the church. And so, as I mentioned earlier, if you do have an interest in getting involved in one of these areas, if you want to help teach, if you want to help lead one of these groups or be involved in that, be sure to see Clara, and she can help point you in the right direction. She can help answer some questions for you, and probably send you to the right leader that can help get you plugged into those particular missions efforts. And so thank you for what you do there.